This video is being sponsored by Latin American Professional Alliance, a community where you can learn, network, and grow. Latin American Professional Alliance. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of OffRoad with Alex Perez. And today I'm super excited to have another special guest. I am going to have Andre Ureña in the channel today. We're not only gonna talk about what he's been through, and everybody in the insurance industry knows exactly what I'm talking about, but he's also gonna teach us and give us his experience when it comes down to business and opening businesses. So let's get this interview started. Let's hit the road and let's do this, mi gente. Let's go. Hey guys, so am I excited to have this interview with you guys today? Because like I just mentioned, we have Mr. Andre Ureña. How are you, buddy, pal?
Pura vida, pura vida.
Pura vida.
Nada más.
Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros el día de hoy.
No, gracias a ti por la oportunidad. Yo ya soy un fan del show.
Muchísimas gracias.
Ya he visto todos los episodios y espero nuevos.
¿Y cómo te gustan?
Me encanta porque así andando aquí en estos recovecos la gente dice la verdad.
Eso sí, this show is raw, nothing scripted y pura verdad, pura vida. Andre, pues bueno, ya conoces un poquito de lo que es el show. Yo te conozco personalmente, pero me gustaría que, como todos los episodios que tenemos, tú nos digas quién eres y un poquito de tu off-road.
Yo nací en Costa Rica. I was born in Costa Rica, and I was blessed to be born in Costa Rica because my country is a little different. In my country, there's no army, and everybody that is born in Costa Rica gets to have education for life, all the way to a master's degree if they want to. And also they get to have health benefits for life.
Nice.
So there's very few Costa Ricans outside of Costa Rica. I'm one of the crazy ones that lives out here, but I'm still in touch with my country. One of the things that most people maybe in this audience don't know is I've done many other things other than insurance. For example, I was the trade commissioner for Costa Rica for the Southwest region of the United States. And what that meant is coordinating things from things with Netflix for Costa Rican productions, with up-and-coming artists and directors, as well as going and represent my country in different events, different organizations, different things in which you go as the voice of the country. I really started in this country in 1989 with insurance. I came at it from a different way. Started working in a customer service in a general agency,
okay.
And that sold physical damage automobile. And so I saw what they were doing, and I saw the agents that they were helping, and I really got interested in helping agents. So soon after I started there, I went sort of do what you do, which is marketing. I started treating a lot of agents like my friends, right? Because really their problems became my problems, and as that I started meeting a lot of people in insurance. Networking, and I think everybody's born with something. God gives us something. I think what the knack that He gives me is the ability to be very social and passionate about the things I care about, and so as that went on, I realized, hey man, there's no Latino retail insurance agency. So I created, along with my partner, Richard Wetzel, at the time, we created Oasis Insurance.
Okay.
And as Oasis Insurance grew, we realized that the market was so profitable, selling insurance to Latinos was better than selling insurance to the general market, that my father, being a banker and at that time CFO of our company, recommended that we raise some cash. And so I went out to Wall Street not knowing much, and I raised some cash right before 9/11 when nobody had money. And we started buying insurance agencies like mine. And one of them was much bigger than mine, which is Freeway Insurance. Then we created Confia Holdings, which still goes on today. Confia Holdings is the country's largest independent insurance broker. I left my efforts there about 10 years ago, and I dedicated myself to other things, including politics in Panama, and also coming back to the United States and working in software with a lot of the income tax preparers. And that, as a result, led to me building an organization which is still around today, has over 2,500 members throughout the country between insurance agents and income tax preparers, called the Latin American Immigration Association, which is different than the original one, which I started when I was in insurance, which was the Latin American Agents Association. Those two organizations both help a lot of our community, our business community. And I've always done, something in which we can build a community with, along with whatever it is that I'm doing. And glad to say that now I realized that there was a need, and other people realized that there was a need for an organization that was more for the multi-service offices, offices that offers insurance and income tax, or maybe income tax and placas, or so maybe do notary work or some immigration work.
Different lines of business.
Yeah, different kinds of businesses, but at the end of the day, it's the same consumer.
Correct.
So if it is the same consumer, they need the same technology to be able to reach their customers through the phone. They need a lot of things that, as an individual, as an entrepreneur, we can get, but as a group, we can grow faster. Why do the Chinese people and the Jewish people flourish when they come to the United States? Because they work together. And I think that now after COVID, we realize there's so many needs in Latin America, so why not those Latinos that are in the north, like us, and are organized and are helping our communities understand industry? Why don't we get together and not only help ourselves grow and become such a powerful force, but also we help our brothers and sisters down south, and which is what my focus is. I'm 53, man. There's some things in life you pass, and you realize that you gotta put your ego aside, because we are only in this earth for a little bit.
One time.
Yeah, and I want to leave a little bit of legacy. Help some people. There's nothing more rewarding. For example, and I can name names. For example, Nancy at Trucking Insurance. Nancy's Insurance, for example. She's
awesome, by the way.
Yeah, she's awesome. The other day she goes, "I'm so grateful for you." And I didn't even know why. And she's like, "You gave me a hand and you helped me get an appointment when I needed one, when I most needed." And that kind of thing feels good, and nothing pays as good as that.
¿Cómo fue todo ese el empezar? La compañía empezar, la fundación donde empezaron a comprar. Obviously, we all know entrepreneurship and a startup is easy.
Yeah.
Let us know a little bit about how what was the mindset going, and what was the mindset, making it one of the biggest organizations that you've done.
What happened was I first treated it like everybody else treats their business, like a liquor store. Basically, I would come in, how much sales we had, how much money there is in the cash register. Let me see what
That's the most honest answer I've ever heard.
And then I realized, wait. If I keep on treating my business this way, then I'm not gonna end up having any value for my business. I knew, and I even though today I can tell you, the exact price. If you tell me what kind of insurance business do they write, whether it's homeowners or auto or commercial, and what kind of commercial, and how many customers they have, I can give you a price for the value of your agency that will hold. And that's what's cool about insurance, the industry of insurance. You have a value based on the book of business you build. Mm-hmm. So immediately, once I realized that, I started looking for people to help me plan it out and manage it out. And I went through a lot of different consultants, and then I ended up sticking with one that taught me that what I needed to do was to have everybody that worked for me have responsibilities, and have a way to measure those responsibilities, and have a way to offer them bonuses they reach their goal. And I really dove into that for a long time, and then actually put value into my agency and did it from A to Z. So once I did it for myself, I'm like, more agents gotta know that the real value of the agency is not what you're making on a daily, back then the broker fees, right? But what you're making, what value are you building for your agency? Ultimately, that's your patrimony. I didn't realize at the time what we were doing was so big until you look back and see how many brands, Solo Insurance, Eastwood Insurance, I can go on and on, Vern Folk Insurance in Washington, that we absorb under the brand, which the main brand is Freeway, but it's Confie Holdings. Also, Confie Holdings, most people don't know this, but owns the second largest call center for insurance companies in Tijuana. And it's huge. Yeah, I mean, whenever you want to, we'll go down there and we'll take a tour. It's huge. It's huge. endeavor that started because we bought a company called Seguros Sin Barreras, which was part of Inglés Sin Barreras, and they already had back then a call center in Tijuana, helping with the people that spoke Spanish on the phone. And so there's a lot of things that have been done. I mean, there's a lot of things that you have more failures than successes, but the process is what's fun.
Another question for you, Andre, before we get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
I remember back in the days, you had started that association, right, for the insurance and all that stuff. How was the first association that you did? What did you learn from it, and what was the outcome of it?
Well, the first association really came together because there was a lot I wanted to accomplish, right? And so in order to accomplish a lot, you got to surround yourself with a lot of people that either are smarter than you or have more experience than you. So you're not just doing things without the benefit of what was before you, right? So because of that, I started getting together with a few insurance agents when I had my Oasis insurance agency. And we would meet every week, and it was very beneficial for everybody involved. It was 6 of us at the time. And we are like, well, let's formalize this. After 2 or 3 meetings, 2 or 3 months, we're like, yeah, let's call it, let's do it. And at the time, Carlos Hill, who's now with Fiesta Auto Insurance, and a few of us were really excited about the opportunity of bringing a voice to the Latinos in the insurance business and the people that wanted to get into the Latino business that were in insurance business. And so we started doing the meetings, and at the time, the only other meetings that were around were the American Agents Alliance. Right. And that was very different because their goals were different than our goals. Our goals was more, hey, at least let me get a contract to sell auto, right? For their goals were like, let me try to get standard companies, right? So we were different, and also we were different
mindsets.
Different mindset, and also we were different in the sense that Latinos we like having fun. We like doing things differently. So for the first few years of the Latin American, there was no golf tournament. It was all about, hey, we work hard, we play hard. So we would be done, and we would have the salsa cruise. We would have different events that were completely radical in the insurance business. Back then, insurance, there was no Geico commercials and everybody trying to out-fund each other, right? It was all serious business. And we were different, and not only we were different, but because of it, we tapped into, at the time, what at the time was starting, which was the multicultural efforts inside the insurance companies to help the Latino agents in the Latino communities. And that really was what elevated the association, because we got sponsorship, we got corporate support to make events that rival and at times surpass what was already established. And so that got other people in other states interested. We started creating chapters. The association grew, but the single biggest accomplishment of that association, after being around for 13 years, in my opinion, was the fact that we were critical help to Senator Gil Cedillo and to, back then, who was the governor? Pete Wilson? No, I don't remember what the governor was, but the fact what we did is we were able to put in law in California for undocumented people to get driver's license based on the fact that it was a public risk to have them not have drivers. And so that was the first thing we did there. And that, to me, is a real accomplishment, right? Because to this day, people that are undocumented in a state like California has so many undocumented people can have a driver's license.
That's awesome.
So that's a legacy that organization left. Just like the Latin American Immigration Association left a legacy that we changed law for the people that are insurance agents or income tax preparers that do immigration paperwork, that they in California have a license and an ability to do it, because that was being, the immigration attorneys as well as the nonprofit immigration organizations were trying to kill that bill, which effectively would have put a lot of people out of business. And not everybody can afford an immigration attorney, right? And not everybody wants to go down to being a not-for-profit. So in the middle, there is that immigration preparer. So that organization worked for that. This new organization, I'm so excited because for the longest time we've been focusing on just one industry. Now we're flourishing because the market has changed. Now there's multi-services offices because the consumer doesn't want to stop in 3 places to get the financial transactions. So our new organization is here for those. It's here for the community trusted advisor. That you happen to be a real estate agent? Okay. That you happen to be an insurance guy? Okay. That you happen to be an income tax guy? Okay. We're here, and not only are we here, we were born after COVID. And the reason that all of us that got together originally to create this new organization, the Latin American Professional Alliance, is because after COVID, we all had a lot of time to think. And those that didn't think about their fellow colleague, business person, or their own customers and the needs that they have, then you have no heart and you have no soul. This organization, half of it is business and half of it is giving back. And obviously you need the business to give back.
Correct.
But we're so excited.
That's awesome.
And in fact, I'm gonna announce this with you. We're so excited to announce that in about 2 months' time, we will release the second part of the Latin American Professional Alliance, which is our completely separate website, which is not-for-profit, and it's called LAPA.love. It's not live yet, but...
What is it again?
LAPA, which is Latin American Professional Alliance, .love. And through that, in that website, we will concentrate on all the community efforts that all of our members will be doing in communities like Tijuana, Ensenada, and other countries like Guatemala and stuff. We want to be able to start showing that. That's the real purpose of this organization.
So you're literally going to take this
everywhere. Everywhere.
That is awesome, man. Yeah. That is awesome news. And hey, we get to deliver the first message out there in our YouTube channel. All right, Mr. Andre, so this is the second part of our episode, and you were talking about Latino American Professional Association. So talk to me a little bit about more in depth in regards to what you're doing here and how you're gonna expand and how you're gonna make this so different than the first one. What's gonna be the difference, the deal breaker on this one?
Yeah. This would be like my sixth one. Most people don't know about the failures. We were talking about that earlier. So, and the successful Latin American Immigration Association prior to this one. But I learned a lot, and I think that anybody that does not do justice to the experiences and the education they've had and the mentors they've had, then they're really not doing a service to their own legacy. And I think that I've been blessed enough to be in a lot of rooms and been blessed enough to be with a lot of people of consequence. And I gotta be able to share that. And that in order to be able to share that, you have to share it at the largest possibility of an audience, right? And you have to be able to help as many people as you can. This organization encompasses not only my life's work, but other people's lives' work that are involved in our organization. You will see top people like Señor Antonio Nava, people like Gustavo Contreras, people like Christian Ureña and his wife Flor. Other big organizations that have been involved with us in the past are also joined ranks. And our purpose is this, to be able to educate, network, and help by unity. And what I mean by help by unity is the real power is not buying yourself an Audi or wearing Louis Vuittons or wearing Gucci. Said the man wearing a Gucci. But it is really about, it is really about the collective strength of the business community that you can gather with the purpose of helping the largest amount of people possible. And that's our goal here. This is not just about insurance, it's about everybody that touches the Latino communities throughout the country. And we're gonna grow by chapters. And if you think that this is not different enough than what has been there before, I ask you this. Has NAREP, BIG, American Agents Alliance, Latino Tax Pro, the National Notary Association, has any of those organizations, right now we're shooting this in July, have had a live event where their people can mingle and start exchanging ideas and start coordinating things again? The answer is no. And we've been open a month already, since June 15th. That's why we had our first meeting, June 15th. Come hell or high water, the business community has to wake up and know that we're not living a year ago or 2 years ago. We're living at a time when phones are critical to our success. Phones are critical for our ability to sell our goods and maintain our books of businesses. And technology is critical for that too. So this organization is here focusing on that we all have a common customer and has to be served well. And whatever technology can be used to make that happen, and whatever training we need to do to make that happen, we will. And unfortunately, what happens to a lot of people that stay behind is because they don't embrace technology. They don't embrace change. And the only constant in life is change. So this organization is all about change and helping, why not, the Latino communities. We need to be able to trust each other and work with each other. And so, you know, I can talk to a Salvadorian as much as I can talk to a Mexican. They don't get pissed at me. But if a Salvadorian talks to a Mexican, they get pissed at each other. So I was put on this earth for something, being neutral.
To do something, right? bring them together.
Yeah, man.
Now that you just talked about all that information and how you just talk about the phone, how important it is now in today's era and today's technology. I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of agency owners in my company. I obviously deal with nothing but with insurance agents and tax repairs and registration services offices. What do you think is that some people don't embrace change? And what I mean by that is going into the digital marketing era, right? Because right now it's not the same thing that you did 10 years ago, passing out flyers, right? That was your marketing left then, right? And I see that a lot of people are not making that change. They're afraid. Once again, we were talking about the fear, like earlier, and we were talking about what if it doesn't work, right? But what is your outtake on that? Why do you think people, or what? Let me rephrase that one. Why is it so important to do digital marketing nowadays?
Well, first, let me tell you that most fear is unwarranted. Most fear is in your head. And most fear comes from your limitations that you have in your ability to transcend. And what I mean by transcend is you have to be able to picture yourself being the most competitive that you can and emulating the successes of others. So if you look at the successful agent today, they're not only using technology, they're embracing technology. Those are the successful agents today. So if you don't step away from looking at your everyday and your routine, you will not be able to survive these trying times. And they're only trying because you don't embrace it. This association, for example, this alliance is here created. If we don't know the answer for you technology-wise, we'll get you the expert that will. And that's our goal, and that's going to be our goal for the foreseeable future. Change is not stopping, it's only increasing. When I started, there was Thomas guides, and there was beepers, and there was payphones. Now everything's on the phone, all in one place.
So Andre, going back to what we're talking about embracing the technology, digital marketing, websites, utilizing your phone and social media. What other advice can you give to the viewers that are going to be watching the channel that haven't taken that extra step, or they haven't done that step, and to really invest? I always say it: if you don't invest in yourself or in your business, you're doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, right? What advice can you give them to start, or maybe take that baby step to get into that?
Teach yourself the immediate need. If you do that, if you teach yourself, instead of hiring somebody, you do a YouTube video, figure out how to do something yourself. Whether that is posting something on Instagram and figuring out what's the right way and what time and what day and what the image should be, do it yourself, because everything that is available for you to do is just how much attention and time you're going to dedicate into it. And then if you can't do it, then hire somebody to help you. The organization, the Alliance can help you, others can help you, but seek that help out. Nobody's gonna feel, and I think that's part of what happens too, especially for our Latino entrepreneurs. You're afraid of people knowing that you don't know, right? And don't be afraid, we don't know a lot of things. I am fortunate enough personally to have embraced social media and technology and all that because of the experiences in my life. When you start a business, right, you gotta know the game. And when you're forced to learn the game, then you're forced to push through things, right? And so fear has no game in that regard, right? You just go and embrace everything you're doing as a new thing and get excited, because it is exciting to be alive. Hey man, I could have not woke up this morning and sing to you. We live presentes when you gotta be. And going full circle, presence of any human being today revolves at least 2.5 hours of them being on the phone. And if you're not there, they're gonna find you. They're gonna be looking for you like in the past.
Otra. Anybody that's watching this video, and obviously you've done so many companies, you started so many companies, some of them being so successful. Give us a little bit of knowledge on if somebody wants to open a business, what to look for, how to do a work plan to open it. Because you can't just say, I'm gonna go open it and not know obviously the outcome of each of the business, right? So delegate a little bit about opening a business, what to look for, what to study, what to think about.
I think the first thing you gotta do is you gotta do something that you that you really get excited about. One thing happened right now, we just passed through COVID. As we all know right now, in the United States, we're having an issue where you can't find people. The reason we can't find people is because people had enough time to retool themselves. So if you used to work on XYZ thing before COVID and it wasn't something that satisfied you, you were able to use the internet to educate yourself through this downtime, and now you emerge probably working in something else. So the people that are going to work in insurance, real estate, in income tax, in immigration are going to be those people that are passionate about helping people in the community that they live on or the community that they represent. Therefore, if you're going to start something, have the passion. The rest will come. But if you have the passion, that gives you the validity, it gives you the transparency to be who you need to be in order to be able to accomplish it. It encourages people to feel it, to follow your leadership because they'll see your motivation every day. And it will also allow you to have the best people working for you because you will be passionate about your team. Your team is everything. Your team is everything. I couldn't be sitting here right now if I didn't have a kick-ass team behind me. And right now it's small. I can't wait until it flourishes and gets bigger, because the bigger it gets and the more that you can motivate and the more that you can accomplish, the more everybody feels empowered and feels good to be alive. So don't do anything if you're just gonna do it for money, because it ain't gonna work. It might work temporarily. If you're gonna put yourself in what I call those 5-year-long journeys, because that's usually how long it takes to get a business really going, then make sure that that business is something that you are passionate about, and that it helps enough people that makes you feel good, and that it makes a difference in whatever that industry is going to be. That is, people don't look at that. People, well, he's doing that and he's doing well, I'm gonna go do that. Oh, what do I have to do? Get a business license, get a bank account, go get the credit card system, whatever, right? No. What you want to do is directly related to your passion. The more, if you don't apply that to yourself, you're always going to be feeling less like. And the only lesson I learned in school, I really didn't go to school much. There's 2 things that I really liked in school. One, in 1st grade when I was in a private Catholic school, and Niña Tinona taught me what being mediocre was all about. She's like, you can do a perfect essay, but because you're lazy, you get a C. Where if you would have invested 5 more minutes, you would have gotten an A, Andrea, and you wouldn't have been mediocre. And she had to explain to me what mediocrity was. That was the biggest lesson I got in school. The second one was becoming a DJ in Cerritos College and really going to concerts for free and getting to interview all the artists I wanted. Those are the biggest things I got out of school, the 2 biggest things. But going back to the first one, man, don't be mediocre. There's so much mediocrity in the businesses that we are in. Don't be mediocre. Either go to the top or sell it. We'll help you sell it. Go live your life. Do what you like and embrace technology in everything you do, because everything you do, if you're doing business or even you're doing charity work, is going to require that you understand technology, that you can use an app, that you can have the people you want following you to be able to use the app, to make that website comfortable, to make it visual, to make it less words, more message, and people have only a short period of span of time for you.
Yeah, no, and the thing is that if you chase money, you're never gonna catch it.
That's right.
What would be the second thing if they want to open a business? What to look for?
The second thing is that make sure that the person that you're working with is not just a person that you're working with, that they become your friends, that you care about their families, that you care about what they do, because if you care about what they do, they'll in turn care about what you do, and that means community. That's not just a business. A lot of times we go to events, into a business event, and there's no sense of community. You're going there because you have to, or sort of because you did last year. Right. But if you go there because you already have friends in the industry that you really care about and that have common, then you really get the juicy, what I call the juicy. They share with you what the real failures and successes have been. And then the more failures and successes you pay attention to, the less problems you'll have.
I always say, when you're gonna start something, try to fail fast. The faster you fail, the better you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Right? And it never hurts to want to try something and see if it works. You asked me a question, why did I start this YouTube channel? And, obviously Hernan is behind cameras, and if it wasn't for him, I don't think we would be here. But it was just an idea. He liked the idea, and we're here. People laughed about the channel. People said, who's gonna wanna watch and care about other people's lives? It's not educative. But
It
The
is.
what I've learned is I learn from people.
Yeah.
The more you learn from people, like you just said it, you nailed it, what this show's about.
Yeah.
Learning for somebody else's failures is I'm gonna learn what not to do.
Prevent you from your own failures. Yeah,
And
if
that's one of the biggest parts about the show, because I like to learn about people.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn different ways.
I watched you because I was switching through my own YouTube channels that I've created through all my failures and passes, right? And I'm like, whoa, he already has 3 going, 4 going, and they're entertaining. It's not that I'm gonna waste my time watching them. I'm gonna get to learn who's with you in the show. I learned a lot about different guys that you've had in this Jeep, right? And I told you, I wanna get on that show, I wanna get on it now, while it's still small, because I know it's gonna continue to grow, because it really is entertaining and it is educating. And so,
Thank you, brother.
more
Appreciate
power
it.
to you, man. Keep on
Thank
going.
you. And man, it was a pleasure having you in the show. Thank you so much for your knowledge. And guys, please go check it out. Latino American Professional Alliance Association. I think it's gonna be the next big thing coming up. Mi gente, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you like this video. As always, please subscribe, share, and like this video so that we can have more content for you guys. So with that being said, Mr. Andre, thank you, buddy, pal.
Pura vida.
Thank you so much. Pura vida, y nos vemos. Until the next one, mi gente.
Presente.
Take care.